Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. And as you can see, I have a very special person here with me today.
Hello, everyone. Good to be back.
For all those who are new to my channel, my name is Rachel, and this is my handsome husband, Marvin. Today, what we would like to do, it was so funny. Today, what we would like to do is share 4 resources that have been very helpful for us and to us during this time of healing. And we are just going to jump right into it. So, the first one is community. After our miscarriage, we found that our church family, we are really blessed to have the church family that we do have. Not only they were praying for us while we were in the hospital and after, but they also took care of meals.
Which was a major thing.
Yes,
Okay.
whether they made the meals themselves or purchased meals for us for at least 2 weeks after I came home from the hospital. Um, I talked about prayer. I mean, that is key because we already know that God is definitely our helper. In terms of community, what else sticks out to you?
I would say boundaries. Even though it was about 2 weeks, we returned back to church. It's never that. It's hard to find those perfect words to say when somebody's grieving, which we understand is always a hard thing. But majority of church family and friends just kind of said, "Hey, how can I help? Praying for you. Sorry for your loss," and just even not asking the details. So kind of giving that space or boundary, just letting you know, hey, we're here for you, however you need us to be. Glad to have you back. So that was also a very important aspect of that.
And I also want to highlight that our family and our friends, those who are actually here and those who are abroad, also played a tremendous part in just supporting us during this time as well. And we just want to say thank you,
Thank you.
thank you,
Thank you.
We appreciate you all. So we really encourage and those who are experiencing some type of loss, just to try to plug in. If you don't have that family support or close friends, hopefully you can find a very good church community where you can feel safe and where you can feel nurtured as well. So that is our first resource. And the second one is counseling. So I started counseling. I feel, I don't know exactly when, but the point is I started it. And
Which is the key.
and it was very helpful for me because I was able to really share some of the things that was just like in my mind, that some things that I may not have even been ready to share with my husband at the time. I really found that it was a place and a space in which I could really process some things. I have a great counselor.
Awesome.
And I found that counseling has been very helpful. And also I started counseling, but at some point my husband, he also joined me, and it was very informative for us and very healing for us to be there together and really talk through some of the things that we were dealing with at the time.
Yeah, counseling is something I think has a stigma to it, and for me, counseling is just being in a place, being open-minded, where you're having someone outside of the people going through it, me, my wife, and myself, asking questions. You never really understand some things you are not able to handle, some things you haven't been able to process, because you never thought about it. So
That's
counseling for me was just being open-minded, number one, to being in that situation or in a space where you can't run. You're here for designated time, and someone just asking questions or helping you process your entire experience. So I would recommend it for any and everyone.
And you know what I would also add to the ladies, it wasn't something that I told my husband that he needed to do. How I approached it, I started going on my own, and then I extended an invitation to him. I said, "Would you like to join me next week?" And I think I heard a couple, not this week. I don't think he said no, but he said not this week, and I respected that. And then eventually I just said, let me ask him again, I think a couple weeks after. And I said, would you like to come with me to counseling? And guess what? He said yes. And
Again.
he said yes again.
Anyway, they'll get that later.
I mean, laughter, you see, also get us through this, okay? So yes, definitely just be patient with your partner, and if the person isn't ready or willing to participate in counseling with you, I still really encourage you to, participate in counseling by yourself. So our third resource that we would like to share is that of time. I would say I was really blessed to be able to take 6 weeks off from work. And yes,
hallelujah,
it was paid time off. And so, I didn't have that we didn't have that stressor of, being down a paycheck. And so, I found that my biggest struggle, however, was taking the full time amount of time. I wanted to be busy. I didn't want to really have to think about things at some point. And I remember my husband saying, I want you to be okay. You have the time that's taken. And also another friend, my husband had mentioned that one of our friends who said, I really would encourage Rachel to take the time, and also going to counseling. And so if you have it, be patient with yourself and with the process of healing. And the other thing is to also know yourself. For me, I took my 6 weeks. For others, you might take a shorter time, and for others you might take a longer time. But the importance is to be really aware of what you are going through and just know who you are.
Yeah, and we know that she was able to get 6 weeks off from work, and we know that's not everyone's privilege to have that, but still being mindful of taking time to heal. It might be time away from work, time away from social activities that you do or groups, but just understanding that you don't want to rush that time, just jumping back into life as routine as if nothing ever happened. I find in experiences, or you might know someone that has just jumped right in and they've never really been able, maybe because of counseling, but usually the time to heal, which kind of plays out in other relationships moving forward. So time, as we all know, is a very valuable resource. So use it wisely.
Yeah. And our fourth resource is finances. So we did touch it a little bit when we talked about time, and when I had the opportunity to stay home up to the 6 weeks. But the reality is, going through something as traumatic as loss or miscarriage, when you add the financial part to it, it just really causes it to be even more intense. If you're worrying about, how you're going to take care of bills, how you're going to take care of just your day-to-day living. And so, it's not that we planned financially for that miscarriage, but we were planning for
Mm-hmm.
our baby, and the hospital bills, and also, just a baby, and the baby, and what, Pampers and all these
Yeah,
things that come
yeah,
with it.
yeah,
So
yeah.
we were saving toward that. And so when, after the loss of the baby, we had that money there that we were able to take care of the funeral.
Mm-hmm.
Those hospital
Mm-hmm.
bills, they come even after it could be a month or so after you still have those bills coming in. We were able to take care of those as well. So
Yeah, and it's so vital. Sometimes we don't understand the importance of it. Here it is for us. It was the loss of our child, and for some people, just dealing with the loss of a loved one, there's always that financial decision. What kind of service, what kind of send off do we provide for our family member? And usually, it's not based on that person's will. It's not based off of, I remember this is what my mother, family member said, but it's what can we afford. So once again, yeah, in our situation, we weren't planning that this was going to happen, but we were planning ahead that diapers, cost of living, just everything in advance, so that when this event happened, it's kind of, we always hear this thing of plan for a rainy day. So when our day happened, we were kind of prepared. So like I mentioned, just saving in advance, planning in advance, really, even if you realize they all kind of work together. Time, saving with the finances, counseling, these different things help you deal with that loss in a different way. Knowing that things could have ended in a healthy way, this person has a send off, or you're able to deal with that loss versus taking that extra with you makes a big difference.
yeah. So I mean, we only really
Yeah.
like barely touch
Yeah.
these different 4 resources, but we really just wanted to share and at least start that conversation and give some ideas that you can definitely could think about or share with a friend. So just remember, the 4 resources are community, we have counseling, time, and finances.
So how did I do?
You know what? You did great.
Okay. Can I come back again?
What'd you think? You think I should invite him again? Okay, I'm not going to think too hard. Yes, babe, you can come again. You did a great job.
Yes, everyone. So please, I enjoy my time here. But if you want to continue to stay plugged in, and we have tons of nuggets or things to share with you throughout this journey, please hit that subscribe button.
Yes.
Share.
Yes.
And see that little notifications button, the little bell? Make sure you hit that too. So until next time.
Yeah. Just be blessed.
There you go.